Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping.
You know my name yet?
And Anthony Lionheart Smith.
I've been on the road for 3 weeks. It's so good to be back. I'm absolutely exhausted. Got in really late last night. Woke up at the crack of dawn. Thought, I'm going to go work out. I'm feeling good. I mean, you can see my face is a little chubby. I've eaten nothing but pub food, which is very nice and tasty. Fish and chips. What else? Steak and kidney puddings with chips and gravy and just stuff, sticky toffee puddings 3 times a day for the last 3 weeks. Washed down with a few pints here and there, because if you're in a pub eating pub food, well,
you got to.
You're going to have a couple of beers. But I'm telling you, my God, right, that's it. Because I'm looking here. I look like I'm hiding a couple of squirrels in my cheeks like I'm a bloody chipmunk. Anyway, good to be back, Anthony. How you been, man?
Man, I'm not traveling as much as you are, but I was on vacation with the family. I went straight from there to Jacksonville, worked the event in Jacksonville, came home for less than 24 hours, and now I'm here in Vegas for this grappling event versus Glover. So I got in late last night, went and trained, and got my nose all bruised up at training, but trained right away, checked in the hotel, and I haven't left since. I've just been laying in bed the whole time.
Nice. And if I'm not mistaken, a fight announcement, Anthony?
I didn't know that they were going to announce it. We were doing the show, the pre-show, like the weigh-in show. And, Joe V comes in my ear and he goes, all right, we're going to talk about, like we're starting the show. So it's opening comments about the card. And he goes, oh, Anthony, let's talk about your fight. And I was like, whoa. I didn't told anybody. I hadn't even told you yet.
No.
Yeah, I was hoping.
I'm very offended.
I was hoping. I brought it up.
No.
The last show we were on.
I'm offended.
And then we skated on past it, and we were supposed to talk about it afterwards, and we just never did. But yeah, so then we talked about it then. I didn't know they were announcing it.
So last week, I think it was last week, we were doing the show, and I said, I'll be in Singapore. You said, oh, I'll be in Singapore as well. I'm like, oh, great, perfect. Yeah. I thought you were doing the desk, but your fight is in Singapore.
Yeah, I'm fighting.
And I will be commentating that. So Ryan Spann, it's a rematch. I can't remember the exact details, but I know last time out, it was a phenomenal fight. I called that one as well. And I remember at the time that was one of your most deadly performances. It really was. You looked like a stone cold killer in that. But every fight is different. How do you feel coming into this one?
I'm excited to be fighting consistently. I think that's been maybe some of my issues, not to make any excuses, but I do better. Some guys do really well fighting once a year or once every 18 months. And that's just not me. I do well when I'm staying busy. So I was begging the UFC for a quick turnaround. And really the way there's so many fights booked, there's so many events, and there really wasn't anybody. So it was fight someone who's unranked or something like that. Or they said Ryan Spann was available and he's been begging for a rematch. And so, I mean, it was either that or don't fight till the end of the year. And then, you know how that goes. Sometimes you wait for a couple matchups to happen. Maybe both of those guys get hurt. And then here I am not fighting until March or April. I don't want to do that. So he's no doubtedly he's gotten better. No, the problem for me is chances are I won't beat him like that twice. And that's just,
it's hard to do that. It's
going to be hard to beat him like that twice. So no matter what, it's going to look like shit for me. Which is fine. It's I don't really care so much about that. It's just hard to have the same exact performance 2 times in a row. He's going to fix his mistakes. He's going to close some of those holes. He's going to remember where he was behind. He's going to remember the mistakes he made, and he's not going to make those same mistakes again. So I'm confident. I feel good about it. I'm just excited to fight again. I don't really care who it is.
Yeah, I'm just looking at his Wikipedia here. So since the loss to you, which you beat him in round 1, 3 minutes, 47 seconds by rear naked choke. Then he beats Iwan Kutalaba in the first round, knocks out Dominic Reyes in the first round, 1 minute 20, and then loses to Nikita Krylov in the first round, gets caught in a triangle choke. So he's a formidable guy, you know what I mean? And he's a big dude. Whenever I speak to him when we're doing, the fighting meetings and whatnot, he always talks about this. He always talks about anxiety. You know what I mean? He always, I think he struggles with that side of things, the nerves and the anxiety. And he always says, and look, listen, this is what we all say, right? When I fight to the best of my ability, I'll beat anyone on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that all the time when we speak to fighters, you know, because it's hard. You know, you go in the gym, no one cares. It doesn't matter. There's no pressure. You're doing incredible things. But then on the night where it really matters, it's harder to put together. So, yeah, I mean, train hard. Forget about that first fight. You can't. You know what I mean?
I can't take anything from that, really.
Well, you can. You went out there and you beat him in round 1 and you dominated it from start to finish. But also, because of that, you can't expect it. Hopefully it does. And you are capable.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if it happens again like that. But it probably won't, you know, and that's just the nature of the game. I mean, it's the same like training sessions. You get over on someone real easy one round, and then the next day they keep it closer. It's just, he's got a good team too. I don't have a whole lot of great things to say about him, but I got a lot of respect for Safe and his team, and actually I like a lot of his teammates. So they're a good team. They're gonna fix a lot of that stuff, and I'm gonna have to find new holes. Yeah,
Safe Saud is just such a great guy and a fantastic coach as well.
It's fun to talk to too.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him a lot. So I said on Twitter, we're going to have Ilia Topuria joining us today. But I think he's been on the red wines. He's taking a little break. But we have got Chito Vera joining us shortly, well, in a little bit, because he just announced his fight with Henry Cejudo. So we've got a lot to talk about there. Not only his fight with Cejudo, but kind of what went wrong last time against Corey Sandhagen and where his mind is and things like that. But Ilia Topuria will be joining us soon. He's just taking a break from media, which I totally get and I understand. Yeah. I mean, if you're drinking red wine at the weigh-in or when you're cutting weight, how much is he drinking? How much is he drinking afterwards? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny because you know what? You know, certain cultures, they don't, because all I drink generally, I'll have a little vodka here and there, but not much. But generally I just drink beer and wine. In a lot of European countries, they don't even class wine as drinking alcohol. You know, they say, how much do you drink? And someone says, oh, quite a bit. And they went, how much? I saw it on like this program or a meme or something. And the doctor was like, well, what are you drinking? And he said, red wine. I said, well, no, that doesn't matter. That's not drinking. That's just part of the culture. So, Ilia, congrats again. Let's talk about that fight at the weekend, because him versus Josh Emmett, you know, Josh, he's got big power. He's got a massive heart. You know, he can wrestle and all the rest of it. But talk about a bloody ass kicking at the weekend.
Yeah, it was. It was just an insane performance by both guys. First round was a little bit slow. You know, they were just trying to feel each other out, but it was apparent right away that Topuria was going to push forward, and Josh was just having a tough time keeping the center of the octagon. And it just started. It all started with the jab. I think Topuria had a great game plan of attacking the low leg early and kind of limiting Josh's movement. I think. And I spent some time talking with a couple of Josh's coaches, and I think Josh has a few tendencies. And again, I don't want to get into them like real specifically because it's not fair to him, you know, if it's not like a widely known thing for his next fights. But he's got a few tendencies that I think Topuria picked up on, and that really, it really hindered him in a lot of his movement stuff and how Topuria was attacking it. But it really started with the jab and the leg kick, and then Josh has definitely had some problems with his eyes. They swell up. He's had some issues with some broken orbitals. His eyes and it's almost, you know, a lot of guys have the scar tissue above the top that they cut a lot. They swell real bad, but Josh has always swelled real bad underneath. And so he was having problems with that early, but it was actually a really inspiring performance by Ilia. Just him pushing forward. He never took a step backwards. He stayed right in the pocket the whole time. He changed a lot of the things that he, you know, Jai Herbert, is that his name?
Jai.
Yeah. From Jai.
The Black Country Banger, as he's known in certain circles.
Okay. He caught Topuria in the middle of punching. So a lot of guys were having some success with Topuria when they'd punch with him. So he'd start to go, and then Herbert threw up that fucking head kick and about put him out. Bryce Mitchell was able to kind of stay in the pocket and punch with him, and was able to catch him quite a few times. But he really closed those holes in that fight with Josh. He kept his hands super tight. His head movement was nice. He had a nice jab. He did a lot of things really well.
Yeah.
He changed his own tendencies, which is hard to do, especially as young as he is. He fixed a lot of small things that up to this point, he's still been successful doing. So, you know, and then on the other side of it, Josh, what a fucking warrior. Just to be in it the whole time, be as hurt as he was in the 4th round. And then,
especially in the 5th round, to continue going like that. I mean, because there was a lot of people. I was sitting there watching it with my dad on Sunday morning in the UK, and you know, he was like, you know, they need to stop this fight, but he didn't stop it, obviously. And in the 5th, I mean, he still had a heart of a lion, still going forward. I mean, Topuria is just slicker, you know, and as you say, he's young and he's getting better and better every time. But a lot of the time, he was letting Emmett lead the dance, you know, attack with 1 or 2 singular shots, and then just countering beautifully with the boxing, as you say, always on balance. Just when he moves out the way, he moves just enough but to get out of the way of the shot, but then close enough so he can get back in with the counter. The uppercuts were nice. The low kicks were nice. I mean, Josh Emmett, as we said, I mean, one of the toughest dudes in the UFC, you know, I mean, he was taking a goddamn ass kicking, but still fighting. Yeah. But Ilia Topuria, every time, I think he gets better and better. I thought that was a sensational performance against Bryce Mitchell. All right, regardless, Bryce Mitchell went well and he had the flu. I don't know if that's true, but regardless, it was an ass kicking as well. And Bryce Mitchell was undefeated.
He's fought so many different styles too. That's the, like, if you look at his record, it's, you know, Yusuf Zalal is a tall, rangy guy for the weight class, stays on the outside, moves around a lot. He was able to get a decision win over him. Ryan Hall, fantastic jiu-jitsu guy that you don't want to engage with. He was able to deal with that. And then Jai Herbert, another tall, lanky power striker. He dealt with that. And then Bryce Mitchell, who's a real awkward, weird striker with some great jiu-jitsu. He dealt with that. And now he got a power. Like, there's not a style he hasn't dealt with successfully. It's incredible to watch.
And that's what makes me really intrigued to see him. I mean, because he called out Max Holloway, which I think is a great call out. Well, he said, I want Max or a title fight. You know,
what's Max in Spain?
Jeez, I mean, come on. You know what? And he's got a big following in Spain. When I was just in Tenerife, when I was leaving, all the security guards at the airport were going on, Ilia Topuria, you know Ilia Topuria? And, you know, I'm chatting and whatnot. And they caused me to lose my boarding pass because they were chatting away to me. And then I left my boarding pass at security, nearly missed my flight. That's a whole nother story. But it's because of Ilia Topuria's fame in Spain, the fame in Spain. Yeah, man. I mean, I would like to see him. I don't want to see him fight Max Holloway because Max Holloway is Max Holloway. Do you know what I mean? And outside Volkanovski, he can seemingly beat everyone. What I want to see, because I'd like to see him versus Volkanovski, if obviously next week Volks gets past Yair Rodriguez. I don't think I'm surprising anyone when I say he's probably the favorite of the bookies and more than likely will do because he's the pound for pound number one. I mean, because if he beats Yair next week, who's the next contender for him? I think Ilia Topuria is right there, and that would be a sensational fight.
Yeah, it'd be an incredible fight. I kind of do want to see him versus Max Holloway, and it's a timing thing.
As a fan, for sure.
It's a timing thing too. If Volk fights and wins, then Topuria is on a hot streak right now. They're going to want to. Volkanovski likes to stay pretty busy, so I mean, what if they turn around and he fights Volkanovski in 6 months? I feel like if he was to, Max Holloway doesn't fight quite as often, and Topuria is willing. He's not a guy that's rushing back there all the time. So if Max fights, then we wait. I don't know, 6-7 months. Then they have a training camp, and then he fights Max. It's more time to grow. Because Volkanovski, as great as Topuria looked, that's still fucking Volkanovski,
Yeah, but that's not how the game works, though, is it? You can't go right. Okay, this guy's highly ranked, but he's not ready for Volkanovski yet. So he can if his manager steps in.
I wish Arnold Allen was coming off a win, because that would be an incredible fight.
But see what I mean, though. Arnold Allen was, what was he? 11 fights unbeaten or something crazy. Yeah, and then fights Max Holloway.
Like let's just skip Max Holloway.
It's like don't fight Max Holloway. You know what I mean? Because
didn't Volkanovski say stop fighting my contenders?
Is that what he said?
He kept telling me, stop beating the contenders.
Yeah. No. Amazing fight. Great night of fights as well. Were you there in the building, Anthony, or just watching?
No, I was there. Yep.
How was the atmosphere there?
It was incredible. It was a really good atmosphere. Yeah, the weigh-ins had me a little nervous because they did the public weigh-ins or whatever, the ceremonials, and it really wasn't that many people there. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be, I don't know. This isn't a good sign. Jacksonville. But there was a lot of people there for the first fight of the night. So it was a tough prelims because there was really good fights. was like 6 straight decisions. There was only one finish on the whole prelims.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's brilliant. When that happens, that really gets the crowd going. You know, it's weird because 3 weeks ago, I commentated, then I jumped on a plane and flew off to England. I feel like it's been a lifetime. I feel like I'm so out of the loop with everything because, I mean, the UFC is not as big in the UK as what it is in the States, obviously. You know what I mean? It's massive in the States, but it's growing and it's very, very popular. But with the time zone, it's so hard. Do you know what I mean? Like I was watching it on the Sunday morning, and when, I don't know, it's just I always get thrown out of whack and out of sync, and I just feel like I'm away from it all, you know, and I've missed it a lot. So I'm happy to be back. I'll be back on the mic this weekend. Got some good fights then. International Fight Week, I'll be there. Are you going to be in town next week?
No, they canceled me. They canceled me. So
they
not
canceled
sure why.
you.
Yeah.
What controversial things are you saying, Mr. Smith? Why are you getting canceled?
Nothing recently. There, Brian's conspiracy corner didn't get me too canceled. So I do have a question though, before I forget about this.
Go ahead.
I reminded me because we were talking about Chito, so we're gonna have to make sure we tell Chito what Dean said about him. But we were on the desk, and you remember maybe last week or the week before we were talking about DC saying that he didn't think that Jim Miller deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yep, big story.
We were talking about Neil Magny. So Neil Magny was fighting, and I think he passed the most significant strikes in welterweight history during his fight. He's passed GSP for the most wins. We did that before, but he just added to it with this win. Yeah. And the question was, Dean was just on a hot streak, just saying controversial shit, saying he thought Cejudo was gonna walk through Chito, and they were gonna call him quadruple C because he was gonna take the C out of Chito. And then Dean was fucking on one. And then he said he doesn't think that a guy like Neil Magny deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So I'm asking you, as someone in the Hall of Fame.
Well, guys, I mean, I have just a certain different perspective because I'm currently in the Hall of Fame. Why? Oh, you're going to have to give me more context. Why not, though? Because, I mean, all right, listen, I understand. So basically, they're saying he's a guy that's never really. But outside of the most significant strikes, Neil Magny's great. He's been around a long time, but what are the other records that he has? I mean, because Jim Miller, his record list is as long as your arm.
Right. I think the only
I'm
other
not
one
sure Neil Magny's is unless I'm.
I think it's he has the most wins of welterweight history. He's got like 2 more than GSP. I think that's the only other one. But
all right,
someone could pass.
I don't think so, because you can't let every guy in the weight class. That's not enough by itself. If you've got the most wins in your, I think
Jim Miller's a shoe-in for sure.
If you've got the most wins overall, and you got a bunch of other accolades, you can't just have the most wins in every weight class and that puts you in the Hall of Fame.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway,
I was just curious.
Anyway, we'll talk to Chito Vera later on and see what he thinks about that as well. All right, let's talk about HTLT supplements. The first thing I want to say is that, listen, these aren't just for athletes. These are for anybody, people like myself, because I just flew back from England and I'm not going to lie, I am exhausted. However, I used some of the HTLT pre-workout, and I'll tell you what, I still got through a great workout. I did 3.5 miles. I did my weights. I did some abs. I did a good stretch, and it absolutely flew by. So listen, HTLT supplements, they've got all kinds of stuff. They've got the multivitamins. They've got the protein powders. They've got the pre-workout, as I said. They've got everything they need, everything that you need, and it is scientifically backed in over a dozen human trials showing clear benefits which help sleep, mood, energy, performance, well-being, and weight loss. So, as I said, it's not for athletes only. It's not specific to one sport or cardio only. Taking their supplements will get you back to a place of overall improvement, confidence, and motivation. And as I said, I'll say it again, it's not just for the hardcore athlete. It's for anyone, including a couch potato who even has trouble just getting up to exercise. So what are you waiting for? Become the best version of yourself. Go to htltsubs.com. Check out everything from the pre-workout, the protein, the supplements, and be sure to tell them that you heard about HTLT Subs here on the Believe in Me podcast when you check out. Harrington, show yourself, my friend. Give us the big news story. In fact, I'm not going to ask you for the big news story because, well, don't sound so sad about it.
I'm not sad at all. I want to know what you think the biggest news story is.
Well, what do you think the biggest news story is?
I'm going to say the one that you sent to me, which is that we can now eat lab-grown meat in certain fine dining restaurants.
Well, I'm talking about mixed martial arts because it's a mixed martial arts podcast, but it's okay. It's okay, brother. It's okay. And that wasn't the biggest one I wanted to send to you anyway. That wasn't number one, lab-grown meat, but seeing as you brought it up, so the FDA approved lab-grown meat.
So it's a U.S. company. It is funded by Bill Gates, by among a number of other people, and they've said that you can now sell this lab grown meat. They said it's most likely just going to be in fine dining restaurants to start because it's going to be such a pricey delicacy. Yeah. But as it moves on, they will keep marketing it for mass consumption.
I don't know how to feel about that. How do you feel about it? Because I don't know.
Lab grown meat.
It sounds disgusting. I mean, I'm sure it tastes just the same. You know what I mean?
It's weird. Bill Gates is a sketchy character too.
He's a sketchy character.
He's a sketchy character, and it seems like this is Bill Gates being like,
"Go on, Brian. No, Brian.
This is how they're gonna start sliding chips and shit into our food, and they're gonna start tracking us with it's some weird stuff, man."
Don't start with that.
I was just gonna say, I'm rubbing off on you guys. Is all I was gonna say.
Bill Gates is a creepy guy, man. You always see these weird stories where he's just into some weird shit, and it's like, I don't know, man. I just keep eating regular cows.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a natural cow. I mean, we're talking about we want it organic. We want it.
Okay, what's the difference though? Because this is grown from the cells of actual animals, correct? Is that right, Harrington?
Yes, I would assume. Okay. No, that is correct. That's how they do it. Yeah. So the difference would be, go on, Brian. It's
the pollution that cows make is what the problem they're trying to solve. So they're trying to make like less methane, less waste. From what I understand.
Well, it's not just the methane and the waste. It's the water used. It's the agriculture. It's the land. You put it all together. It's a massive, massive stress on the Earth's climate and all the rest of it. So I get it. It is a worthy cause. And it would, if you're a vegan, if you're a lover of cows, which, by the way, when we were in England, we went to a farm and we were feeding cows and we fed some calves at milking time. And they were the cutest little bastards ever. And my daughters and my kids are all like, We're not eating these, although we had steak that night, so total hypocrites. So, we wouldn't have to kill them all. But I don't know. That just seems to me, and what do I know? I'm a knucklehead former fighter. Cancer? Do you know what I mean? Some kind of disease where you ingest that.
There's not enough known about it. There's not enough known about that. It's just, it seems like a little, like cloning people is like super taboo, and like people even start talking about it and shit starts getting weird. But like animals, it seems like that's essentially what we're doing. Is like you're cloning the cells.
Well, it is. That's predominantly what it is. I mean, that's a good way of simplifying.
Gotta be some side effects there. I don't know shit about shit, but I get punched in the face for money. What do I know? But
there's got to be some side effects. Like that cow there is mental. Is that a cloned cow, Brian, or are you just showing us a cow having a good old jolly time rustling through the leaves?
Yeah, they're dogs. They're big dogs.
They're just big dogs.
Yeah, they are. Hey, by the way, what do you call a man in a bush?
I don't know.
Russell. Anyway, moving on. I apologize. Yeah, listen, I don't know. I wouldn't feel safe doing it just yet. I would like to see a lot more time. I would like to see them watch it, follow it, study it. I don't know, give it to other animals for a few years and see if they get any side effects.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally agree. That's not my thing.
I don't want to eat anything grown in a lab. Call me stupid.
No. It's weird. It's weird. I don't like it.
Anyway, that's not what I meant. I meant mixed martial arts, Harrington. So give us the biggest bloody news story in mixed martial arts, because it's a mixed martial arts podcast.
What I would say is, coming away from that weekend, I actually had a buddy of mine hit me up today talking about this weekend's card, so concerned about Justin Tafa because initial reports were that, he was much more seriously injured than the statement that he put out today on his Instagram. So I wanted to make sure that got, a little bit of press.
No, nicely done, Harrington, and rightly so. Can you just get his statement on what he actually said, please? Because I'd like to know. Oh, here we go. He says, want to give a big shout out to the UFC staff for getting me to the hospital straight after my fight was called. Cleared of any major damage to both eyes, but both eyes did suffer some damage. Right eye still in pain, sensitive to light, and blurred vision on. But I thank God nothing that was going to end my career or cause serious damage to my eye. Thank you all for your concern, blah, 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 blah. So why do you think it's not that bad, Harrington? Why do you think he's playing it down?
No, I'm not saying playing it down. I'm saying that a friend of mine, who casually watches mixed martial arts, hit me up and said that he thought in his mind Justin Taffa was blinded after what happened on Saturday night. So I just thought it was good that Justin put out that statement saying that that's not in fact the case, and it's not a career move.
Yeah.
Were you there in the building, Anthony? What was the general take of things?
Yeah, I'm like cage side. I'm surprised you don't see me here. It was a disappointment because the absolute size of those two guys in there together was impressive. So and the way that Lane was throwing those nasty body kicks, and he's a former football player in the NFL. He played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so the crowd just went absolutely crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, to be fair, he's not very good, but he was probably going to get beat. But he was throwing nasty body kicks too at the very beginning, trying to keep Taffa off of him, and just off of one of those kicks, eye poke was disgusting because it was right in front of me, and the noise that was coming out of Taffa was just it was agony. It was agony. Yeah, it was.
But it's
the second
it's one of those body parts, though. You know what I mean? It's just like so sensitive.
And he was trying to fight. Sensitive. I could hear him telling the referee, like, "I'm good. I'll just fight with one eye." He was like, "I beat that guy with one eye," and he was like, "No." And
Is that what he said?
Yeah, the doctor kept coming in, and he was telling Big Dan, like, he can't open his eye. He can. So Dan was like, "Well, let's give him the 5 minutes and see if it'll clear." And the doctor was like, he can't fight. And so Dan was giving him every opportunity to let the pain and because sometimes you do get poked and then it does force close, and over a couple minutes it'll start to open up and clear. But then it started bleeding out of it. Like they were wiping blood. He was like, looks like he was crying blood. I was like, man, we got to stop this right now.
Yeah, might have been a scratched cornea. That's really painful. If you actually scratch the eyeball, the cornea, man, it's so bad. I remember when I had one of my surgeries, I came around, I think I've told the story, but I came around too early on the operating table and I'm all strapped in. It's when I had glaucoma and he put this drain in my eye for a while. And I came around on the operating table because I was in massive pain before I went under. And I came round and I'm like, open my eyes. And I'm like all strapped in, and the doctor's like, "Oh, Michael, it's okay. Just stay still. You've just come round from the operation just a little too soon." He said, "Just stay there." And I just see big needle come right in my eye. I'm inject something. No. I come round, and then a second later, I'm like, and I'm thrashing about. The pain was way worse. And the doctor's going, what's going on? I'm going, the pain. He said, what, like before? I'm like, no, way worse. Because it was a short pain, whereas before it was a dull pain before the surgery. And then again, another needle right in my eye, anesthetic. I go back to numb the pain. Then they put me back under. And then when I came round in my room, a little ward, I don't know, however many hours later, come round, I open my eye. And that's what I never saw out of it again. And what they did was they messed it up because the drain that they put in, because I had glaucoma, which is if you touch your eye's wet. So there's always water going into your eye and it comes out of a drain. So it's always a clean supply. But if you put a balloon, a water bomb on the end of a tap and leave the tap on, what's going to happen? It explodes. Yeah, right. So that's what glaucoma is. And that's what I had going on amongst many other issues. So they put this drain in, but they put the drain in the wrong area. So it was kind of overlapping in with my the iris, which is the colored part of your eye, which is kind of like a gel disc. Yeah. The drain was sucking the iris into the fucking drain. So they had to undo the surgery, redo it all again, replace the drain. And then after that, I never saw a goddamn thing. So, but well, I'm just glad that Justin Taffa's fine.
Well, now I want to fight those guys. You beat them up or anything?
Who, the doctors?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know, and I kept my mouth shut because I wanted to carry on fighting. I should have sued the hell out of it.
You should have. That seems like a big
No, it was a big fuck up, but I wanted to continue fighting, so I kept my mouth shut.
You can never say anything about it because you would have had to say that you were blind.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Whatevs, Trevs, not about me. So what else is going on in the world of MMA? I'm just looking at the notes right now. Anthony Smith has a fight booked against Ryan Spann, Singapore. What's the main event on that one? Do we know?
Max Holloway in the Korean Zombie.
Max Holloway in the Korean Zombie. I'm assuming you're co-main?
I don't know. Probably. Yeah.
So this video with Alex Pereira, right? Alex Pereira.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. No, I thought it was a different one in Walmart. I'm just reading that.
I thought you were talking about the motorcycle one.
Can we have a look at the one in Walmart first? I haven't seen this one yet, but I did see Izzy's response to it. But Brian, played the one in Walmart. What was going on? Was someone just following him around, kind of like giving him a hard time?
Security, yeah.
Skaram sikina aqui,
Oh, he's just following him. What, in case
Sai da cola.
I mean, Alex Pereira probably does look like a menace, like if you're Walmart security. But can you
100%.
imagine being the security guard that walks up and starts to grab Alex Pereira by the back of his arm to lead him out of Walmart, and he just, hi-ya! just beats the shit out of him in Walmart?
But aren't securities these days they're almost mandated to just not do anything, let alone Alex Pereira? You know what I mean? Alex Potan Pereira. That's not the guy you want to try it on. But yeah, I thought.
What did Izzy say?
Say again.
What did Izzy say about it?
Izzy just said, "Oh yeah, I used to get stuff like that, but people follow me around asking for pictures, something like that." Yeah. So something along those lines. But I did see Potan had a little gift for Glover to share with your buddy, your friend, who you'll be matching this weekend. But check this out. This was nice of
I hope this is because you need a garage to store it in.
So cool.
Brand new
Harley.
Well, what's going on?
I don't think he knows it's his yet.
Then he gives him the keys.
It's a little gift. And you.
Look how happy he is. That's awesome. I love that.
I love it. That's amazing. It really is. What do you think that's worth? A brand new Harley Davidson? I mean, it doesn't matter what model it is. 20, 25 G's?
Oh, no, that's probably closer to 50.
Oh, is it really? Yeah.
Depends on the model. 50 or 60.
I know nothing
it's
about
expensive.
motorbikes.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. That's a really nice Harley. Yeah,
that's a good gift. That's for Pereira. You know what I mean? He just must have done well in those title fights.
I mean, look what he gave him, though. You know what I mean? It's probably a small percentage of what Glover helped him achieve and make on his own. You know, I think that's pretty damn cool.
Well, no, for sure. I mean, I don't know what those pay-per-view fights did, but the one where he knocked Izzy out, but then he came back when he lost, I mean, he would have done, he probably got a few $1 million out of that. So 50 G's on a motorcycle to the guy that got him there in the first place is nothing. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look. What are we saying here? Starting at...
No, keep going down.
43. Oh, is this not the model?
Yeah, it looked like a Road Glide without the back seat.
Look at Anthony. You know all the models just looking at it and stuff. Oh, whatever.
So I was saying 40 or 50, whatever.
40, 50. Around there.
Yeah. It's a nice gift.
22. That's a fantastic gift. What's the nicest gift you've ever received, Anthony?
I don't get a lot. I mean, nothing crazy like that. That's for sure.
No.
My wife bought me a car for Valentine's Day one time.
Oh, that's nice. What kind of car?
It was like one of those, what was it? It was an Infinity SUV.
Right. There was a book.
But then she took it from me like 6 months later.
Well, just uses it all the time.
No, she like legit she ended up taking it from me. She was like, "You go get a truck. I like this car."
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what my wife did. I got given a Range Rover for when I coached the Ultimate Fighter.
We've talked about this. I remember I wrote it.
She just took it. She just took it. And then after that, we got a couple more Range Rovers, and she just decided that they were her cars from now on. And, whatever. So we've had some wrinkles to this whole and Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, but George St. Pierre came out of the woodwork and said that he's offered to train. He did a tweet. He said, "I'm a big fan of Elon Musk." He said, "I'll train you for the fight." Elon Musk accepted and did the fire emojis. Chael Sonnen came out and did a YouTube video and said that Mark Zuckerberg called him to reach out to train him. Mark Zuckerberg came out and told TMZ that that's a load of bullshit. And Chael Sonnen's just talking out of his ass on his YouTube videos, which apparently, because I was talking to Callum, my son, yesterday, and he said, "Yeah, Dad, did you not know that? That's what Chael does. He just makes stories up."
I think, well, first of all, if you had to choose someone, who would you pick to train? Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg?
I wouldn't pick Elon Musk, no.
I think I would choose Elon Musk.
Yeah, but you saw Mark Zuckerberg when he did. I've seen some jiu-jitsu training.
Well, he can kind of fight. He can kind of fight already. Yeah, he
knows what he's doing. He looks pretty
does.
technical. He looks smooth. He knows what he's doing. Elon's older. He might be bigger, but he doesn't look athletic at all. Do you know what I mean?
I'd give it a go. I'd give it a go. I'd
love to be involved with either of them.
It'd be fun.
But Joseph,
Chael's favorite story of mine, because he is full of shit sometimes.
He is full of shit.
Is when he talks about growing up on the mean streets of Oregon.
It's brilliant.
Saying, I love it. He's like, there's these twins. And when they turned 16, they got a Mercedes. But they only got one. I had to see these things. They had to share that car.
No. What was the other one? Is like when I was, sure, we had a cleaning lady, but she only came once a week. Some days that house was crazy. You don't know the things I saw when I grew up.
Said, there was years my dad didn't even make $100,000. Well, barely made $100,000.
yeah, I know. Oh, I must admit, he's absolutely hilarious.
He is funny.
All right, Harrington, give us a non-MMA. In fact, I'll tell you which one to use. In fact, let's talk about Andrew Tate. Everyone loves hearing about Andrew Tate. He's got a massive following.
Did you guys already talk about? I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm on one today.
No, you are on one, which is good because my brain isn't working.
Did we already talk about this submarine thing?
Yeah, but we did last week, but we haven't talked about now that they're all. It imploded. In fact, we should talk about this because it's absolute bloody nonsense and bullshit what happened. Yeah. Apparently, the Coast Guard knew shortly after,
on Sunday,
a week in advance, last Sunday, that it had imploded. Mm-hmm. And the theory is that they're using this as a big distraction because Hunter Biden was just charged over some other dodgy shit that he's involved in over in Ukraine. Yeah. So they kept it quiet because the world's media attention and the focus was on this, which is just utterly disgusting.
When they came out and said themselves that from the hydrophones or whatever those listening devices are under the water, that they knew that there was and it lost communication and it lost any tracking all at the same time, which I didn't understand why that was a big deal, but it was because the communication and the tracking are two completely separate things. One has its own power and its own thing. So if you lose both of those, and the thing probably exploded. But then they heard it. There was evidence of it. They knew that it had exploded.
Yeah.
And then as soon as they pretended like they didn't know where it was, so they were searching all over the place. And then as soon as that French ship got there, they sent down that little ROV right to it. They knew exactly where it was. It was right below where it blew up at.
And look at the millions and millions of dollars that were wasted as well.
Yeah.
In public money. In taxpayers' money, searching.
I would never
a nonsensical search, a search where they already knew where it was. Come
exactly where it was. And those poor families. Remember, they were talking about there's knocking noises and 96
every 30
hours.
minutes we're hearing a noise. Yeah, that's right.
And then, they got 40 hours of oxygen. We got 31 hours of oxygen. So these families are just sitting there praying for hours, hoping that for days, hoping that these people are still alive. When God. The fucking Coast Guard and the military knew that thing was done. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, but if they knew it was done, then the government and the higher ups and all the way up to the bloody White House, they knew it was done as well.
Exactly. Thank God it happened that way, though. If it was going to happen, though,
like that. Apparently, just like that. Because think about it, you go down and go down and go down, then it gets to a point where the pressure is just too much, and then just. I saw some videos of them imploding online. Yeah, it would have been instantaneous.
The time that it takes your brain to calculate what's going on, those pain sensors, it's slower than that implosion would have happened. So,
oh really?
That's what there was a bunch of scientists explaining where they were at and what that pressure would feel like, because they started off with a 2x6, a board just laying on your chest, and then as you go down. Once you get to where they were at, that 2x6 would have weighed something like 1.5 million pounds is what it would have felt like, just a regular board. So the speed of that implosion, once it was finished, is faster than your brain can compute what's happening.
Well, so then they did it. So look at that. Oh my God.
And this is happening at sea level. That's happening at fucking sea level.
Yeah, so
But
that's only
go on, Brian. Sorry,
that's only one atmosphere of pressure
like
on
375.
Yeah, they were at close to 400.
Jesus.
And the thing is, as we saw in those little demonstrations there, like some of it would implode a little bit, you know what I mean? And there'd be over like gaps and stuff. But because you're underwater, the pressure comes from every angle. So it would just, if there's space, it will mangle it. Simple as that.
And the people were like asking about, like the media was asking about, well, are we going to try to recover the bodies? Like, what bodies? It's an explosion. There's nothing. There's not. It's awful.
I mean, but that's the good news about it.
That is,
as you say, for the families, it's terrible what they did, and to mislead the world and have everyone focusing on this because it's a race against time and the world can get invested. And talk about the amount of focus and energy and viewing hours that would have generated for all the mainstream media and all the YouTube channels and things like that. Here, Brian says in the chat, they don't fully implode in those tanks because it breaks the seal and equalizes. Yeah,
like on those ones that it was above water. They only break full halfway because.
Of course.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Just a crazy deal, though. And
I was just thinking that I was talking about this
of the submersible too. Like, I've been listening to a bunch of videos of how dangerous that whole thing was in general. Like, there's people that have gone 3 times the depth of the Titanic with absolutely no problems, but it's because they're using the correct science. You got to go in.
Something worthy to go that deep down,
right? That's some video game controller. What the fuck was this guy doing?
I was talking about this, to Rebecca this morning. Human life is human life, so it doesn't matter about the fact that they were very wealthy and very rich. But the one guy was a billionaire. I'm sure they're all super wealthy. The billionaire rich guy and his son, right? You've got the whole world at your fingertips of things you can do for pleasure. Do you know what I mean? Don't choose something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Isn't it easier to go to the moon than to the depths of the ocean?
Well, I wouldn't do that either because shit goes wrong in space. Do you know what I mean? If I had $1 billion,
I'd probably rather die in space than at the bottom of the ocean.
The bottom of the ocean scares me. I don't even like to go on cruises. I mean, I've never done it, but just being out in the middle of the ocean, like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, I would start freaking out, knowing that the nearest land is thousands of miles away or hundreds of miles away at least.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all. Well, from one government conspiracy to another one, potentially, because Andrew Tate says it's the Matrix and they're all coming after him. But Harrington, you put this in the notes. Not me, but I just looked at it, I glanced at it, and now we're talking about it. Andrew Tate, as we know, was was it Romanian prison for quite some time on house arrest? Come on, give us the lowdown. This isn't breaking news, by the way, but still.
That part's not exactly breaking news, but he was under arrest. They don't have to charge you to leave you under arrest and in prison for months at a time. That finally ran out. Now they have formally brought charges against him, including rape and human trafficking, and he is facing up to 10 years in jail per count.
Yeah, and look, listen, there's not a lot to talk about here, really. I mean, we've known about this situation for a long time. The reality is we weren't there. We don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? We don't know what did allegedly happen, what didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that will all transpire. The Romanians, I don't know, don't sound like the most honest people. So you don't know what to believe. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I'd still beat him in a fight, though.
Oh, we don't.
You remember that? People were so pissed when I said that. They were fired up. Well, he was talking about a knife fight. I was like, I'd beat Andrew Tate in a knife fight for sure.
Beat him in any shape or form. He's not that good of a kickboxer. I hate to break it down to everyone here. No, he's really not, guys. Okay, there's a reason why he's out there selling bloody these. What
does he do to make money? Do we know?
He sells these. What do you call it? There's people that
he's a grifter.
No, like he sells these memberships. You can sign up to his membership, and every month he gives you advice on how to become a 6-figure man and how to do this and make your bed in the morning. And fucking guys, I'm going to teach you how to be a serial entrepreneur, and you're going to make loads of money. You follow the Andrew Tate plan to life. I'm paraphrasing. This isn't how it works. But shit like that, yeah. And now there's a lot of people doing the same thing. A lot of people are copying the same mold. But the thing that I was surprised about, let's be honest, if it is trafficking, sex trafficking and rape, now I don't know if he's guilty. Let's just assume that he's not, because he says he's not, okay, and innocent until proven guilty. regardless of the situation, he's only looking at 10 years for rape and sex trafficking.
That's what I thought too when Harrington read that. Like 10 years. That doesn't sound like a lot for what he's being like accused of.
Yeah. I know nothing about the case. So I don't want to talk about Andrew Tate per se, but in the UK, the laws and the punishments are ridiculous. One thing I like about the States is that if you're doing anything like that, they come down on you hard, man.
For sure.
Like ridiculously hard. And it should be. In the UK,
in the States, he's never walking out again. Probably.
Yeah.
Like not on that, like a huge human trafficking case. No way. You'd be an old, crusty man walking with a walker by the time you stepped out of that jail.
But as I say, we don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about anything really. But do you know much about volcanoes?
I don't know shit about volcanoes.
Harrington, do you know much about volcanoes?
I know that there is
super volcanoes that are on the brink of eruption.
I know there is a super volcano that could erupt for the first time since 1538. They said that essentially the mountain around it has been deteriorating a lot, and that is leading to like an unsafe structure for the volcano and could cause an eruption pretty soon.
I have a theory somebody threw the ring into it.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, could you imagine that? I mean, whereabouts in Italy is that, Harrington? Because I know remember a few years ago, the one in Hawaii erupted?
Yeah.
And there was like lava going on for days and days, and it was taking out some houses, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think I'd ever lived by a volcano. Like if you were to say, well, this thing hasn't erupted in 100 years, we'll sell you this house. Like, I don't think so. I think I'll pass.
Yeah. Well, I guess they do erupt. That's basically, they are what they say on the tin. They can lie there dormant. But all right, it's been dormant. I guess the longer it's been dormant, the more chance it's got of going off again.
Yeah, if it goes off and it's like 2 years later, you're like, fuck yeah, I'll be, well, 2 years.
It's fucking due to go off at some point, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Definitely not buying that one, Yeah,
if you're like 10 years in, like I'd probably buy a house there then, I suppose.
Yeah. Anyway, we know nothing about that. So,
I don't.
Harrington, give us an MMA story. I mean, we got International Fight Week next week, so we've got loads of stuff to talk about there. What?
I pulled it up on a map. It's right near Salerno. I would say probably 2-3 hours from Rome.
I wouldn't live there anyways.
Yeah, dude.
Rome? Have you been to Rome?
No, I was just joking. I don't know. I've never been there.
Rome's one of the most amazing places on the planet.
Really?
Put me 2 hours away from Rome, I'll happily be there. Dude, you got to go to Rome. You got to take the missus to Rome sometime. It's the most amazing place.
That would be
nice.
Incredible. Okay, yeah. I'll put that on the bucket list then for sure.
We just need Marvin Vettori to continue winning, okay, or start winning.
We do.
Win some fights, and we're going to UFC Rome. I mean, look at that.
Ooh.
I mean, if you like history, it's incredible. If you like good food, it's incredible. Wow. If you like nice weather, it's incredible. If you like pretty girls, it's incredible. If you like high fashion, it's incredible. Harrington doesn't like any of those things, so don't bother going, Harrington. Well, let's just talk about FitBod really quick that are sponsoring today's episode. Look, listen, new year, new me. That was a while ago. We're now in July. Maybe you failed miserably. Maybe you gave up. Maybe you didn't even start. Well, guess what? It's never too late to start changing your life and working out. But guess what? Sometimes even if you do work out, maybe you go to the gym every day. Maybe you get bored. Maybe you can't be bothered. Maybe you can't afford a personal trainer. Well, guess what? FitBod app is here to change all of that. The FitBod app creates a workout routine that is personalized to your goals, fitness levels, and available equipment. And it also learns from your previous workouts and adapts as you improve. So you can keep the momentum going all the way to next year and beyond. Look, as I say, whatever equipment you have, doesn't matter if you're missing equipment, doesn't matter if you've hit a plateau. A fresh start has never been easier because the app switches up your exercises so that you avoid overtraining or burnout. The program changes based on your personal progress for maximized results. And whether or not you got a full weight room or you're just doing it in your bedroom, FitBod has a plan for you. And the new movements, the exercises it will show you, you can learn them the correct way with over 1,400 high-definition demonstration videos. So this is basically, it's a personal trainer in your pocket, but so much more. And a full year of FitBod is going to cost less than a single session with a personal trainer. And we're going to give you 25% off and let you try the app out for free. So look, listen, you've got no excuse. If you're on the road all the time and you can't always get to the gym, this will help you. If you just want to go down the park and have a workout there with no equipment, FitBod will take care of that. Or if you're in a fancy-pantsy, massive gym with everything you need, this will also give you a tremendous workout and a new routine that you can stick to and make real results. So right now, get 25% off your subscription or try the app for free at fitbod.me/believe. That is fitbod.me/believe. Right, anyway, what's going on with Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya, Harrington?
Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya both talked about a training session that they had together almost 10 years ago in Thailand. Israel Adesanya talked about it on Logan Paul's podcast. He said that he had just started training MMA, so Dricus was worlds above him in the grappling, but he said he dominated him when it came to striking. Dricus talked to the Schmo and said, I do remember this training session. There was no dedicated striking round. I just whooped his ass with grappling. I'd have remembered if I had a striking round with Izzy.
Yeah. Du Plessis actually said, I'm just reading it here, so we trained in Thailand. I think I was 19. He had quite a record of MMA already, and I was only 3-0 when we trained together. Anyway, what do you think about this? I mean, these two, I don't think Dricus is getting through Robert Whittaker. I don't think anyone on earth thinks he's getting through Robert Whittaker. But there is a part of me that wants to see these two just get it on, because the amount of talking and shit talk back and forth, you know what I mean? Just put it to bed. Let them fight eventually.
Let them fight. I wish they would have just booked the du Plessis fight, just because I just like to see someone do what they say they're going to do, because it looks like they're never going to fight.
There's no way they're ever going to fight. Not unless, Izzy throws him a bone. All right, that sounds so disrespectful though, because anything can happen in a fight. Right? Yeah,
except for Dricus beating Robert Whittaker. I like him. I like watching him fight. Like, I don't know him. I've never talked to him. He's pretty funny in interviews. He's well-spoken. He seems like a nice enough guy. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to all the believers and say that I think he has a chance. He doesn't.
He doesn't have a chance. He doesn't have a chance. But the thing is,
like, what is Cannonier going to do to a guy like him? Like, he's but just going back to a title fight.
We're just going back to what he said, though. He said that he was controlling him in all the grappling exchanges.
That was 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I don't think that Dricus will be able to take him down now in an MMA fight. There's just no way.
What I mean. Maybe he could then. He probably did.
Izzy goes out there and stops pretty much everyone's takedowns. I mean, Whittaker got him down a few times. He took his back and all the rest of it. Whittaker's a good bloody wrestler. Look at all the other people, all right? Jan Blachowicz took him down in his he's had 2 now because of Potan, but that was the only person to beat him at the time, going up a weight class. I don't think grappling would be a factor for Izzy right now whatsoever.
No, I mean, he was able to deal with Yoel Romero and his wrestling. He was able to,
go.
He's fought some. Vittori can wrestle really well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how we got to this spot where people are getting like real high on this Dricus thing. Like, he's good. He's exciting. He's a dog. He's got some heart. He's got incredible willpower just to force himself into uncomfortable situations during these fights and break people. But there's just a level that he's just not going to break through with that kind of a style. And he's not going to beat a guy like Cannonier like that. He's not going to beat a guy like I even think, I think Strickland handles him.
Yeah, so do I, to be honest.
With that styles, guys like Strickland and Cannonier and, even Marvin, and he's going to have a tough time with those guys.
I'm just looking at his record, though, 19-2. So he's got a great record. The only person he's never been beat in the UFC. He's on a 2, 3, 4, 5-fight win streak. Brunson, Darren Till, Brad Tavares, Trevin Giles, Marcus Perez. So, 5
Brad Tavares is putting it on him too. And just kind of gassed. Yeah.
Out of those 5 wins, 3 stoppages as well. In fact, 4 stoppages. That's submission against Darren, TKO Brunson, KO, and a KO against Marcus Perez and Trevin Giles. Brad Tavares is the only person to beat him to lose by decision. So he is a finisher. So I understand all the hype behind him.
For sure.
I understand him being confident. And he's doing the right thing. He's marketing himself well. And anytime you can align yourself with the champ and get involved in a bit of shit talk going back and forth, and it gets people like us, the media, fans, everyone talking about it, that's all well and good. But he does have to go through Robert Whittaker.
When you get the champ wanting to beat you up, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like, you figured it out. Like, Izzy is he's begging for du Plessis to get through Whittaker. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Do you think what I'm going to choose my words carefully because I have a tremendous amount of respect for Israel Adesanya and his career that he's had. You have to. Simple as that. And the balls that he had last time to go right back in there and beat Potan. But do you think there's a little bit, and I'm asking a question, there's a little bit of he'd rather Dricus than face Robert Whittaker again, because the first time Whittaker got smoked. The second time Whittaker came pretty close. I still had Izzy winning, but only the rounds by a slight margin.
Right.
You know, every time Whittaker could catch up, and Whittaker now looks better than ever. When he beat Marvin Vettori, I said to him in the cage, I said, you're clearly the next best middleweight after Israel Adesanya. And he shut that down straight away. He said, no, I'm the best. I'm the most dangerous. Do you think there's a little part of Izzy that doesn't fancy going in there with him a third time?
Yeah, for sure. And I don't doubt that in a casual conversation that Izzy would probably dispute that. You know, like if you were to ask him in a media day, of course he's going to say, no, I'll fight anybody. I'll fight anybody. I don't care. I'm confident in my skills and abilities. But if we were having a casual conversation, Robert Whittaker cannot be that much fun to fight. He's going to be right there with you the whole time. He's dangerous. He's incredibly conditioned. He's smart. He's tactical. He's getting better and better. Those just aren't fun fights to be in. There's nothing fun about that. And it's someone that he's already fought 2 times and beaten 2 times. So look at the law of averages that we just went through with Alex and Izzy. Yeah. At some point in time, Izzy was bound to get one. They fight enough times. Now we're kind of moving into that same realm with Robert Whittaker. He's getting closer and closer. He's fixing his holes. He's getting a better read on Izzy. He's learning more and more about him every 50 minutes they go in there. It's bound. He's bound to beat Israel at some point.
Well, because and every time you share the octagon, you know this. When you share an octagon with someone, all right, first time, you know, there wasn't much learning being done in that fight, right? No. He got smoked. He got almost finished at the end of the first. Izzy finished it in the second, very, very early, you know. But the last time out, they went 25 minutes. 25 minutes, you get a feel for that. You understand stuff. And when you look at someone like Robert Whittaker, he's an endless worker. He's always getting better. Every time we see him, he's almost like reinvented himself and improved, even in small, minor little areas, you know. So as smart as he is, the fight IQ that he has, and as disciplined as he is, yeah, for sure, that is a real threat to Izzy. Yeah. And Izzy does know that, you know. So, yeah, I'm sure he wants Dricus, you know. It's almost, because as you say, the law of averages, it's like, I'm going to fight him again. It's like the bastard keeps winning. Can someone just beat Whittaker so I doesn't have to keep fighting him again? Because he's right there. He is right there.
Let's just be honest. Like, fighters, of course, we want challenges and you want new challenges. But if we're just looking at financial gain and W's, where's the easier win? And it's a big fight. Like, he could really build that du Plessis fight because they don't like each other, with the shit talk, the marketing, the geographical issues that they're having. Like, that could be a big fight.
There's a race element as well. You know what I mean? There is, which, you know, we don't want to get into. But
I was saying, it's none of my business, but it's there. It's there, and it's going to be there in the marketing of it. And likely Izzy dices him up on his feet. So it's an easier fight. It's an easier fight than Whittaker. And he knows that.
I'll tell you what, though, if du Plessis could do it, because they've been talking about doing UFC Africa for a while.
Yeah,
you know, doing it back in Africa, in South Africa, maybe in Dricus's hometown. I mean, that would be, what an event that would be. Wouldn't that be crazy? They'd be like the UFC's version of the Rumble in the Jungle, of down to, that was Manila, obviously, but going down to South Africa, putting on a stacked fight card, because there's a fair few fighters now. Stick Kamaru Usman on there as well. Israel Adesanya's from Nigeria. Who else is there? I mean, there's what's he called? Daucha Lungiambula. Is he still with the UFC?
No, I think he got cut. He might have got cut.
Did he? Yeah, no, because I know he struggled recently in his last couple.
Yeah.
But still,
either way, it'd be insane.
Who? Oh, Themba Garimbo. Yeah, we're going to get Themba on the show, by the way. Themba, of course. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'd ask to work that one for sure.
Go out late at night. You will get shot and murdered or killed in South Africa. And I'm speaking from experience. You've all heard the story. I'm not going to bore you with details again. So, listen, it's easy to talk crap about Conor McGregor if you're a hater. If you're a hater, there's a lot of things going on right now where you can talk shit about Conor McGregor. But one thing I don't think that you can talk shit about really is what the man's done inside the octagon and the accolades that he's achieved. You know, and that's what Paulie Malignaggi is doing. Have you seen this story? Paulie Malignaggi thinks that Jake Paul would have a really good chance of beating him in the octagon because Conor gets tired. Conor has extreme anxiety. Let me just bring it up. I think I've got the notes here. Hold on. Here's what Paulie Malignaggi had to say. He says, talking about Jake Paul beating Conor McGregor in a fight, Malignaggi says, Jake was a high school wrestler, so he would not be totally out of his element in a cage. He'd need to be alert to his kicks, but McGregor has absolutely no balls. If you just make him a little bit uncomfortable, you're going to put yourself in a position where you might win the fight. You can make Conor uncomfortable by beating on him, or if he's beating on you. If you just hang in the fight, he begins to get nervous and paranoid. He's not a true fighter. He looks for the first window to jump out of. He's got athletic ability, but his anxiety levels get high. That's why he gets so tired in fights. This guy posts pictures of himself running up mountains, swimming miles, bicycling through the desert, just to make himself look like he's a Rocky during training camp. And then he gets in the cage and he's tired after 30 seconds. That's because he's got no balls. There's no way you get that tired unless your anxiety levels are through the roof and he gets scared there. Jake just needs the ability to hang in there, blah, 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 blah. Don't even need to read the rest of it because he's absolute fucking nonsense.
He's an idiot. He's a high school wrestler, so he's not that unfamiliar with that. Shut up.
He did a bit of high school wrestling, bro. He'll be able to be a
you're pretty much a UFC fighter then. Paulie Malignaggi, sometimes I say some stupid shit sometimes, but he really says some dumb shit a lot.
I say some dumb shit as well. Yeah, and I probably have done this episode. But yeah, no, he's just an absolute goddamn fool. Anyone to think, listen, as I said, you can have some opinions on McGregor, but certainly at the height of his fame, if you're talking about Conor McGregor at his peak, you can't say that his anxiety levels were high. That's why he gets tired.
No, I remember the moments he's been in.
Look at the moments he's been in. And listen, I'm not his biggest fanboy, but I always was impressed by how calm he was always able to stay. I remember when he fought Jose Aldo, right? And there was that mega lead up to that fight. And of course, he knocked him out in 13 seconds. But there was so much hype for that fight. And there were all the world tours and stuff like that. He walked in there cool as a cucumber, like he was nipping down to the shop to buy a loaf of bread. You know what I'm saying? He did not look like a guy that was nervous or anxious or scared. I mean, for Paulie Malignaggi to say that, I mean, look, listen, we know he was trying to fight him for a while, but he's out of his mind.
Well, and Paulie's never been in fights as big as Conor. Ever.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere close. I mean, even the Chad Mendes fight, I think, was an insight into Conor's mentality. It was a short notice replacement, totally different style, huge buildup. The whole thing.
Well, the Nate Diaz fight was the same thing, to be honest.
Right. Well, then he was taken down several times in that Chad Mendes fight. Wasn't getting tired. Was getting back to his feet. That's a hard fight. It's just a hard way to fight. I think that says a lot about Conor and at his peak for sure. And
it also shows the lack or the ignorance of a boxer to say he'll do well in MMA because he was a high school wrestler. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's when you should have stopped reading. Like you're an
idiot.
You
really think that Jake Paul's going to fight MMA in the PFL?
No.
If he does,
he can barely box.
He'll fight a boxer in MMA. He fights MMA guys in boxing. Yeah. When it comes to MMA, he'll fight a boxer.
Yeah. No, he can barely. The news was announced box one way.
Okay, so did you guys hear about this Oklahoma senator, right? GOP senator, who has accepted, it seems, a challenge for an MMA fight from a local union boss. They. So the two had a bit of a falling out. It was like while he was on the Senate floor talking to his constituents, these guys went into it. After the thing, the guy tweeted out that he where is it here? He pretends like he's self-made. In reality, he's just a clown and a fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me, any place, anytime, cowboy. So he gave a place and time. Tulsa, Oklahoma, September 30th. MMA fight. All of it's going to charity. Worth noting, Mark Wayne Mullen is a former MMA fighter himself.
Like, isn't he an actual fighter? Yeah.
Yeah.
he used to
That's what I
fight.
was going to say because you know,
I'll commentate it.
You look up MMA news, and that is dominating everything right now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not familiar with these people, to be honest, but it did say that he was a former MMA fighter. So of course, so he was the one that called for the fight, the former MMA fighter, right?
I think so. And then the other guy accepted.
No.
I
So
believe.
so one guy said, stop playing the tough guy. You know where to find me anytime, any place. So the former MMA fighter said, okay, this date, this place, this
Right.
time.
I mean,
I think that should happen more often. I think these politicians should have to fight it out every once in a while.
well, the politicians should all just go. I was going to say something very, very controversial there. Just piss off, right? They're a bunch of crooks. They're a bunch of phonies. They're a bunch of liars. They're a bunch of morons. They're a bunch of idiots. They should not be running the country. They're fucking assholes. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them in the UK. I'm sick of them out here. Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg now want to fight each other. We've got the politicians trying to fight each other. No wonder the state of these countries is in such a goddamn mess. No wonder inflation is rising through the goddamn roof. You got politicians arguing like children, saying they want to go fight MMA.
Right.
That is just there you go. It's ridiculous. It is.
It's childish for sure. But sometimes some
watch it.
things are better. Yeah, sometimes things are better solved over a little bit of violence, which I'm okay with. But like, what the are these people doing? Like, fix the world. Stop fighting.
No, for sure. Fix the world, or fix the country, or fix the jobs,
Right.
or fix something.
Yeah,
Stop going
or
on about
whatever.
MMA fighters. Stop trying to sound tough. I mean, to be fair, he used to be a former MMA fighter himself. I'm not sure I want a former MMA fighter running any kind of country or place either. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It would not be good. Oh, speaking
Oh,
of
Chito.
I'm sorry, guys. Hey, Mikey, in my defense, you changed that word twice, so I was a little confused. But hi, guys. How are you?
But we're later than all the times that I said.
I'm always on time, bro.
Cheeto time. What are you doing
Except
right
for
now?
today.
You look like you're chilling on the hammock. What's the dog called? What's the dog's name?
Zion. I was training and then I'm chilling, waiting for the next practice around 5.
Yeah, so you got loads of time. So just take 20 minutes to talk to your old friends.
Right.
My good friends.
Good friends.
I got all day for you guys.
All right.
What,
No, thank you very much.
How long do you know about this Cejudo thing going on?
Bro, it's a couple weeks ago. They called me and they say Cejudo August 19, and I was like, sure thing. I called coach. Coach was happy about it, and I was like, I mean, I'm in shape. I'm just, prepping for a specific guy in this case, but I feel great about this fight.
Yeah. Well, you're always in shape, Marlon. You're always that guy. You're very disciplined. You're not. You don't blow up. You don't get heavy. You don't get out of shape. We'll get to that in a minute, right? Listen, we haven't spoken since your last fight against Corey Sandhagen. Right? There's been a bit of time passed since then. I'm sure you've sat down with Jason. I'm sure you've talked about it. You've dissected it. I'm sure you've talked about your feelings or your emotions that night. Would you mind sharing with us? I mean, what do you think was going on that night?
I was just fully turned off, and I mean, like, I'm not the guy that goes. I have ever in my career make excuse after a fight. I'm not making an excuse now. That's what I say. To me, I was just. It's weird. Like, it's almost like I would say the best way to explain it is either God just turned off my fucking body, or I was sick. That I don't know. I was just like, I had no pop in my punches. I have no pop in my kicks, and all the explosiveness that I always have, that I have right now. I was able to explode out of my sprawls anywhere. Like it will come and go. Like sometimes things will work, and then all of a sudden I was like, fuck. Like I will see a punch coming, I will block it, and then I was like, normally I throw, and I was just like that half a second was gone. I was like, and then I fought my ass off. I keep trying, but even coach knew. Like that's what, like, he was frustrated, but he was like, there's nothing I can do if I have a flat fighter right now. Like there's no one can do anything. That's what I just decided to dig deep and try a little harder, but I wasn't able. I was just, on it. It's on me.
I remember, I think, was it the end of round 3 or something like that? Because you've probably seen it back. And yeah, of course you own it. Listen, we've all been there, mate. We've all had bad nights. So there's no judgment. For anyone that does judge or talk shit, they've never been in there. You know what I'm saying? And as you say, you might have been sick, bad night, might have been God. Who knows? But at the end, I think it was the end of the 3rd round, because with respect, Marlon, and I'll say this because we're friends, you're known for kind of being a slow starter, right? That's fair to say. And I think Jason was like, hey, bro, are we going to get going now? Because I'm going to start getting pissed. I'm going to start losing my shit or something like that. And towards the end, I guess you still did start going for it. But what do you do to make sure that doesn't happen next time, Marlon?
I mean, training-wise, I feel camp was amazing. The way I was looking, I'm feeling during the sparring and stuff like that was great. I was in all areas. I was grappling good, wrestling good. I mean, I had 8 more weeks to train, which for a guy like me, it's not gonna play on my benefit, because I was ready for the initial date, and then they moved the fight to the end of March. So maybe that could play, because
that's it.
If you will be a little
That's
out of
it.
shape.
Sorry, Anthony. I know I just pointed at you for your question. Marley, you train all the time. Even when you're resting, you train all the time.
That's what my question was going to be.
You were overtrained.
Looking back, when I was talking to Hunter Campbell, look, man, we really need to change it. But if you want to say fuck you, I'm staying. I kind of play the game of the company, man. So you know what? It's fine. Let's do it. Like, I accept it. They don't put no pressure on me. Even Hunter told me, like, hey, dude, if you really say fuck you to March 25th, but then I kind of I feel like it was on me to tell them fuck off. So I went, you know what, guys? It's fine. Let's do it. Let's go March 25th. But I kind of went in the route of let's be good for the business, but I forgot about the part. I'm flying right now. I'm not gonna be flying in 8 weeks, so that could be it too.
Do you ever worry? Because every time we've had these conversations and conversations at the Apex, you're always training. You're always just in such good shape, and you're always working. But when do you honestly give your body a chance to just rest and calm down and maybe get a reset? I know that the shitty part is you don't want to get out of shape and then have to get back in shape again, because that sucks.
Well,
but
couple weeks ago, luckily, something was bugging me, and coach just told me, like, look, dude, just go 14 days without even walking, like I do. Do whatever you want, but don't train. And I was like, you know what? I don't even jump in the ice, but I don't even, because the problem with me is if somebody goes and be like, okay, your hand is broken, not punching. I will run every fucking day, and I will find hills, and I will do a sprint, and I will run 13 miles just because I want to. I don't know. Maybe I hate myself. I want to push myself all the time. But I was I just find something to do. But this is specific time that something was bothering me. Instead of overly use the other part of my body that was healthy, I just took fully 2 weeks off. No ice, no sun, and nothing. I just wake up and leave. And then I went back to training, and my first training on Monday was sparring. And I felt great. I felt alive. I enjoyed, and right now, it's been great. I've been feeling great. The only thing I did during that 2 week period was I did a 3-day fasting. So that was kind of a challenge. But since you don't really training, it was pretty chill.
Yeah, see, but by the way, this isn't me sitting there making excuses for you, Marlon. We're friends. You know what I mean? And I'm 44 years old and I've been through it. You know what I mean? And I want to try and pass on some advice. And you know this, you've heard people say this, but for anyone that doesn't train or fight, they will never understand what I'm about to say. But they say all the time, training too much is worse than not training enough. Mm-hmm. Way more. 100%. You're so 100%. Flat. You're tired. You've got no motivation. You can't, because you go. And that's a great attribute to have. But I don't need to say this, because I guarantee Jason Prillo said it to you a million times, because he used to tell me all the time, Mike, it takes confidence to take a day off. But it does. That's knowing that, hold on a minute, I'm a fucking head of the curve. I can go and sit on my ass. I can go be a Lita Pori and drink some red wine or have a beer, have a pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Like those little things, I'm finally changing those. Like there was a point that it would be like 3 or 4 months without hearing from Fight News, and I'll be like so down my diet. And you feel granted, you feel good, you feel well, you feel healthy, but then it's like, I mean, you just can't live like that. And then I talk to so many athletes. You're one of those, and you've been with the same coach, so you're the best person I can relate with. I mean, you just learn. I mean, just learn from it. Don't be such a nerd. Like, just have fun sometimes. And I feel like that's whatever I didn't show in the last fight, which bummed me out a lot because I did get better for that fight. I did improve. It's gonna pop up. Everything's gonna be like a beautiful picture in this fight because now I just improved an area that I was lacking, and I was like, you need time to forget about things too. So, I mean, I feel like it's a great fight for me, and now I just know a little better than I used to know before, and I just feel good about that too.
Well, you seem to be in a pretty good mental spot now. Like you're feeling good and taking all those things you learned in that camp. And now you'll just get yourself feeling better and take them into the next one. But I don't want to harp on the Sandhagen thing too much. But when did you notice? Did you feel it the day when you woke up? Was it in your warm up? That's just really for me personally. I'm just curious.
On the day of the fight, everybody feels weak. Everybody feels like weird. Everybody's like, because I get it. We're all nervous. I mean, that part I know how to handle. I'm just like, I just ride with the wave. I'm like, cool, dude. I don't have it today, but that's just your nerves talking to you. But then when I was doing the shakeout, I just know coach too much, and it's good and it's bad to have this quality. Like, I can sense people energy from a mile away, and I can tell he wasn't happy with me in the warm-up. But since he's just such a great coach and mentor, he told me like, look, dude, you look fine. You're good. He kind of like tried to make me forget about that I didn't feel good, because normally when I'm kicking on fight day, I feel like Bruce Lee. I'm whipping that thing as hard as I can, come back to balance. And that day, dude, I was kicking and falling over. I was kicking and like, it was like my son. If I put my son on the mitts right now, I look like that. I was kicking and like just making like 3-4 steps to bring my balance back, and I'm like, I told myself, this is weird, but fuck it, we gotta do it today.
Yeah, it's too late at that point. You just gotta go.
But hold on a minute. You're talking about when you wake up day of the fight and then you go and have a little workout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're always shit because
that's why I stopped doing shit. I stopped doing shakeouts.
No, but that's the idea though. So because the first time you use your body after doing the weight cut, you want to get it revving, you want to get the engine going and get the heart pumping, the lungs working. So it's supposed to be shit there, so it's not shit in the fight. But you're right, because what you're talking about there, I'm sure Anthony feels it, and so many times I'm like, oh my god, I've got no pop.
What am I doing?
Our pets' heads are falling off. I'm like, this is shit. I'm out of breath. I'm like, why am I so out of breath?
Yeah, I get all that, but still my balance was super fucked. And then my punches were very pushy. Like I was almost like pushing forward instead of like snapping. And I'm like, I could be shedding my pants right now and I'm still not gonna punch like that. So I kind of like realized that, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But I was like, you know what? I'm still a strong man. I'm still have a good mind, so I'm gonna go and fight. But then what I really realized, the first takedown he shoot, I was like, it was like a slow-mo. Like I see it a mile away. He was deep in my legs, my hips weren't reacting. I was like, what's going on? And now for a minute I was like, maybe he's just that good of a wrestler now. But then in the second shot I was like, I just don't have any pop in my body. Like all my nervous system was gone. I was like, that was weird. But then I was like, I feel, fuck it, yeah. I wish I could fight with the guy tomorrow, but it is what it is. I'm fighting him, and that's what it is right now.
What it is, and that is the learning curve. And listen, listen, we've got to be fair to Corey Sandhagen, right? He was great on the night. He was. He was. And, and you had issues, whatever you want to call it. That's done. It's forgotten about. It's in the past. You learn, we move on, we get better. But the balls on you to go out there, you're on a killer streak. I think 4 wins, knockouts over some bloody legends, right? You would have thought it was a number 1 contender matchup. Right? If you'd have won that fight, you would have been fighting for a belt. But now you go up against a former double weight champion, the king of cringe, the greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Talk to me about accepting this matchup. How did this come together?
I mean, they call us, and once my coach, I saw that it was positive for him, that he was happy with it. I was like, send me the papers. I'm good to go. And I mean, it's a perfect fight to make a statement. It's a perfect fight for let him know, like, hey, yes, I sleep, but I get the fuck up right away. So, I mean, I just go in there, fight my fight, and just this fight I'm planning just to do it just better than I was before. Like, I mean, he can make all the breakdown he wants. He can talk all the shit he wants. I know deep down inside he's still a little bit of my life depend on it, and it's gonna be a good fight. I guarantee that it's gonna be a great fight, and I'm gonna come in my best.
And you could say that you go in there and you beat Cejudo, that would put you in a better position than you were in even before the Sandhagen fight.
I mean, that's the motivation really behind. I mean,
yeah.
I go in there and win this fight. I'm pretty
right
much
back.
I'm right back there with a lot of guys behind me, so I'm chilling. I mean,
what is it with you and Sandhagen and you guys seem to stand out, you two, from the whole division on like the fights that you guys take. Like, not only do you guys fight each other, which I think is just a super tough fight for both you guys, but then he goes on to fight a guy that's unranked, and then you fight Cejudo. Both really tough fights, but it's the wildest thing to me that you guys are just kind of both like, yeah, whatever. Like, we'll fight whoever you put in front of us.
I feel that mindset. I'm props on him for that, because I have the same mindset. I mean, out of all the guys that declined Umar, I was all for that fight. I mean, I can lie about it. I can put some shoulder, but if I would get that fight offer, even if I get advice to don't take it by anybody, it's gonna be really hard to me to be like, you know what, I won't do it. Because if you really meant to be a world champion, you will take your bombs. And honestly, my dream was never being undefeated with 50-0 or 6-0. My dream was to be a world champion in the UFC. And if I gotta take a couple L's to get there, hey,
so be it.
Props to Michael Bisping to become a champion the way he become. Because I'd rather by 1,000 times be a champion like that retire undefeated because I don't want to lose. Fuck that. I mean, life is not no one in life only wins. So, I mean, Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan because he loses championships. The problem is, like, it's not 1 versus 1. It doesn't look like that in your record. But I guarantee you he loses more games than I lose fights already.
For sure.
Kevin Slater, same thing. So, I mean, I'm going to get there. I'm still believing I'm going to get there and I'll be a world champion.
But it'll feel all the better when you do. Obviously, we've got a lot to ask you. So who does your next opponent? He just fought for the belt against Aljamain Sterling. Obviously, that was a little while ago. But what do you think? What mistakes did he make in that fight, do you think? And what did you see that you can capitalize on?
A guy like him is really good in the clinch. Like, I mean, I feel like I could wrestle for the next 5 years and probably don't get to his level, and that will go probably for the same division. Like, for everybody in the division, I mean, like, if Sterling and him just wrestle, I mean, it's gonna be probably impossible for him to win. But this is MMA. Like, the levels get pretty equal once you're punching people in the face and you keep the right attitude and you keep in shit. You might take me down, you might put me in the clinch, but you still gotta fight. So, I mean, fighting make us more equals at that level. But in that fight with Sterling, he seems to have a great body lock, and he's really ballsy. And I feel like him getting really ballsy is gonna make him get hurt with a guy like me, because I'm really gonna throw at him some fire.
I think your jiu-jitsu is going to give him problems too when you guys get to the ground and your attacks. You know what I mean?
I feel like he avoided a lot of the grappling. Like every time he was in the front headlock, he let him stand up, and
which will help you get to your feet.
Exactly. I'm gonna be attacking a lot. I'm not gonna be there like really worried about I'm gonna get taken down. I'm gonna fucking fight you from anywhere, and it's gonna hurt, and your heart is gonna get really high. So, I mean, I'm winning this fight at all costs, and if I'm really willing to go deep to get back to the winning column and try to fight for that belt eventually.
You don't need this, Chito, but I'm just going to throw it out there. If you would like a Mikey B instructional on the way, I'll come in and show you some of my ways I used to get back to my feet, because I think in this fight, you know what I mean? Because I have a few set drills, you know, that I used to do all the time. Because that's essentially, I mean, I think on the feet, I mean, listen, Henry's good all round. He's got very, very good areas. You have good boxing, He's obviously good in the clinch. His cardio's always good. He always comes prepared. But I think the biggest test will be keeping the fight on the feet. I mean, I'm sure you agree, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you come any day, I'm gonna take the advice. I mean, I'm an open book. I'm really willing to like. I mean, if you tell me to not help me?
No. I'm kind of joking. I was only kind of joking, but
no, but I want
some of these.
I'll show you
drills.
a few bits. I got a few drills. I got a few things. I got a few tricks up my sleeve. I've got you, brother. I'll come down. Obviously, another friend of yours is fighting for the belt. Talking about Sugar Sean O'Malley. What do you think happens there? What do you think happens with Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley?
I feel like a lot of the things lately favor O'Malley, right? Like he's been training. The time frame for him is perfect. You got a guy that is fighting non-stop, defending his belt. He's maybe a little tired. That weight could also get you a little tired. So everything is really favoring the YouTuber. But I mean, Sterling in paper should just stylistically get through him just because the grappling experience, but a guy like O'Malley will definitely make the fight bigger, will bring more pressure in terms of like media, lights, and everything. Let's see if Sterling deals with that pretty good. And I mean, with a guy like O'Malley, you gotta be very defensive at the beginning, but he just does that style of fighting of like one punch type of thing can last so long, because your power. I can keep my power for the whole fight. But I'm not a one-punch guy. I mean, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you. But if you're like that, it just doesn't last. And all the guys, Johnny Hendricks, Conor McGregor, that one thing, if you make them fight a little bit, it's gone. It's just proof in time and in history of having that style. And, I mean, I'm sure he's good in the ground. I'm sure everybody's good. But it's just stylistically, in paper, Sterling should take it, but I mean, if he wins, that kind of benefit me at some point. So, I'm really rooting and not rooting for both. I really don't give a fuck.
Right.
Anthony's gonna bail.
Yeah, I do. Chito, I got to go to this media day for that jiu-jitsu thing I'm doing at the Apex. I wanted to hang around and say hi to you because it's been a while since we talked. But as always, brother, I got nothing but love for you. I'm excited for your next fight. Keep your head up, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Just go, Anthony.
What? You be like that, Mike.
Just rip my headphones out. I can't hear you.
Such an asshole. All right, I'm out of here.
Later, Anthony. Talk to you soon, buddy. Just me and you, Chito. Just me and you. How's the mind been since the last one? Did you have some dark days?
Oh, fuck. 100%. You just look back and it's like a nightmare. And I mean, it's a nightmare because fuck, if I lose because my opponent was just slightly better here and there, I'm like, okay, I can actually go back and work on that. But if my body just feels dead that day, there's nothing you can do about it. You just gotta like keep your mind right again and just keep improving. At the end of the day, the mindset, you gotta like find a way to come back to positive and keep just plugging away, because I mean, what else can you do about it? You can't just sit down and cry over spilled milk. You gotta clean it up and keep going. And I feel I'm in a good place, and I'm very optimistic about what's going on. And just go from that. And I mean, there's only one way to make this better, and that's winning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, listen, you're fighting the best people in the world. And as you said, whether or not you were overtraining, whether or not you were sick, nights like that do happen. You got to keep pushing on. I told you on the night, I said, hey, listen, you just put it down to what it was. A bad night at the office, fair play to Corey, fair play to the other people. That's what I used to do when I lost
100%.
fights. And when you get there, eventually, it will make it all that better. But again, I know I said this before, but I think everyone has to respect you so much because you could, I mean, look at, who's he fighting now? Who's Corey fighting next? It's someone unranked, isn't it?
Umar.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tough fight, but he's like, what is he, 15 or something like that?
Yeah, he's pretty low in the rankings, and from what I understand, nobody was taking the fight, which, I mean, whoever declined the fight, you're such a pussy, because, I mean, you gotta fight. You can avoid the guy, but if the guy's that good, he's gonna get there, and he's gonna grab you, so might as well just fight him. I mean, just fuck it. I don't know.
And you're in the same fight card as O'Malley and Sterling, right?
Yes, same card in Boston.
So that's the main event. What's the co-main?
Co-main, I think, is Wei Lee versus Lemos.
Ah, that's right.
I believe we should be right below that. But, I mean, position in the car, I don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, but Cejudo, I mean, how good is that going to feel to get a win over someone like him? Because not only does that put you, I would say, given your resume, probably right there for a title fight, but he's one of the greatest. You know what I mean? When it's all said and done, you want to be able to look back at your resume and say, hey, I fought these guys. I fought these names. I fucking stepped in there against everyone that you've heard of.
You're right. That's a huge win for me. And I mean, that's a big head to collect. I mean, the guy's been a world champion in 2 different weight classes, make a comeback. What's a close fight with a champion? I mean, if you wanna make it big, what else can I do, right? Just go in there and put it up on that guy, and that will put me right back in title contention.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, listen, we can sit here and talk about that shit all day long. You're looking good, brother. Well, what's different? You're looking a little, and the hairstyle isn't quite as funky. You know, the beard's a little bit longer.
My hair's growing.
You look happy and healthy.
I mean, family is good, life is good, business is good. Just trying to make the best I can. You know, win fights, becoming a world champion, doing the right thing with my money. I feel like, you know, people is healthy around me, and fuck, dude, it's just a good time to be alive and have the right mindset just to keep going forward and go for what you want.
How old are you now, Chito?
I just turned 30 in December.
30 years. I mean, you're a baby.
I am.
How long do you think you'll do this for? 35, 36?
I have a solid, I feel like it will be a great career, win the belt, defend it, and like by 37, bail. I mean, I could take a couple big fights between 37 and 39, but 37 is a perfect time to, you know, get off the game, move on to, I mean, business, investment, keep working for the UFC as a commentator. And, you know, I feel I have the best years of my life ahead right now. So I'm going to give it a full, just, and have the best time in my 40s, you know.
And you've never, am I right in thinking you've never had surgery?
I had one small surgery in my elbow. That's about it. And not knocking on wood, but so far my body's just been just as strong and reacting just as good as when I was a little kid.
But why do you think that is? Because obviously training for MMA, you know how hard it is on the body. And it's not uncommon. A lot of fighters have so many surgeries. I mean, I had God knows how many people are having surgeries all the time, but that's mental that you've got this far in your career, the amount that you train, the people that you're fighting, and you still haven't, you know, blown a knee out. You haven't, I don't know, you haven't had any reason to get like a proper surgery yet.
I probably think since I was a little kid, just running around town, going to the farm with my dad, walking crazy distance, going uphill. I mean, I think all that should play some part in my health. Like I heard my grandfather used to have before he died, like the doctor was like, if wouldn't be with his problem on his brain, his whole entire body was perfectly, no sugar problems, nothing. So maybe I just come from a line of pretty healthy, strong people. Like, I mean, like the last couple checks before he passed away, like his heart, his organs, like everything was like brand new on that guy, and he was like close to 80, but he had like a really bad problem on his brain that he was just like that was making the rest doesn't work, but everything by itself was pretty good. His blood, his everything was good, and I mean, he would be pretty strong right now if he wouldn't have that problem. But I mean, maybe just healthy bloodline.
Yeah, and this is Grandpa Chito you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my dad's father.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Grandpa Chito. Hope he's well. Rest in peace. All right, let's talk about Seed and their amazing new product, the DS-01 Daily Symbiotic. DS-01 was developed for systemic benefits beyond digestive health. The first in a pipeline of clinically studied next-generation products, it is a daily probiotic and a prebiotic. What are we talking about here? Well, we're talking about a healthy gut, which is often at times, well, it's overlooked all the time. A healthy gut contributes to a strong immune system, a healthy heart, healthy brain, improved mood, healthy sleep, effective digestion, potential prevention of some cancers and autoimmune diseases. It will also help with regular and pain-free bowel movements, give you consistent energy, the normal amounts of gas and bloating because nobody wants to be farting all the time. And the DS-01 is sustainably delivered every single month. Each component of the refill system is designed to protect your DS-01 Daily Symbiotic and be gentler on the earth. The shipping box is made from ecological paper, made from algae. Okay. The bio-based tray is made from renewable ingredients such as starch, natural fibers, and water, and produced energy efficiently. Okay. Plus, it's also fully recyclable and home compostable. But more importantly, your monthly refill comes in a bio-based pouches that keeps oxygen and moisture out. So, look, listen, it's gut health. It's massively important. And this is a game changer. So, right now, we are offering you the Seed DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at a 25% discount. Just do a little bit of research, look into it. Gut health is so important, and this is leading the market. So right now, as I said, get 25% off your first month of Seed DS-01 Daily Symbiotic by using the code BELIEVE at checkout when you go to seed.com. Once again, that's seed.com, and the promo code is BELIEVE for 25% off your first month's supply. What else is new, Chito? I mean, obviously, it's been a little while since the fight. You're gearing up for camp. I mean, what have you been doing in your spare time?
Getting back to training, getting back to running, keep the eyes on sauna, getting my blood pumping now. No new tattoos as of now. Just trying to, make sure my kids have fun thing to do during summer, put him in the sports, but pretty much just getting in and out of the gym, just staying pretty active.
And what about Rockhold? What's he doing lately?
He went to Africa. For a couple of weeks.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he went to Africa. I think.
What the fuck is he doing in Africa?
I don't know. I just know he was in a cool thing. He was dancing with the tribes and shit, but I didn't know what exactly he went for.
All right.
But he's back. I haven't seen him since.
Yeah. No, you tell him I say hello. I hope he makes it out of Africa alive. When I was there, I almost got murdered. And Luke will stand out down there.
Oh yeah, he will definitely stand out. He's probably the prettiest man ever to walk into Africa.
How's Pereira doing?
He's good. He went to visit the family in New York, and he'll be back tomorrow.
Nice.
So tomorrow I got coach back with me. But I've been wrestling and grappling every day since he left.
I just came back from England. I was out there for 3 weeks seeing family.
I saw
Holy
that you were with
shit,
the family.
bro! I am fat. Because English food isn't the best. What is traditional Uruguayan food?
Ecuadorian?
Oh, sorry, Ecuadorian.
Yeah.
Ecuador.
I mean, rice, beans, and steaks. That's an everyday. If you wanna eat good in Ecuador, you can. But there's like 40 different soups. We just have so much flavor. There is like. We do seafood, paellas, ceviches, rice, beans, and steak, rice, beans, and chicken. You can literally eat 1,000 different plates in one city in Ecuador, so you can get fat too in Ecuador. Like when I go, I really stay away. Like I give myself like one good meal a day, and the rest I go pretty clean because Ecuador it's big time food, and it's just so
And
many.
what about
different-
Uruguay?
Uruguay got good. I've been in Uruguay. They have good steak houses, like really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm messing. All right, so you'll be on the same card. If you get the win, when you get the win, when you go out there and you dominate Henry Cejudo, do you think you'll get a chance to challenge the winner in the octagon? Because if Sean O'Malley gets the job done, be honest, are you rooting for O'Malley to win because of the history and the fact you have a win over him?
I mean, I go in there and I win this fight. I'm rooting for O'Malley for sure to win. But even if Sterling wins, I mean, he already beat Sanhagen, so that kind of like put me ahead anyway. So I'm in a great spot. God bless me for being this spot, but I'm in a great spot.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, listen, we've kept you for long enough. Even though you were late, we'll let you go. You know, we'll forgive you, Chito.
I was actually in time for the first time you gave me.
No, I don't. I've just come back from England. I'm knackered. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. I'm all over the place. So, Chito, you're the man. Shit. I'll come and see you in the gym soon, buddy. Tell Jason I say hello. Tell all the people down there I send my love and get the hell out of here.
I will, my bro. Thank you so much.
Thanks, buddy. There he is, the one and only Chito Vera. Anthony Smith dipped out, ducked out, ran off, left me alone. If you have a question, send them into bympod@gmail.com. Obviously, the more interesting, the better. We're answering a lot of the same questions week in, week out. But as I say, if you have one, send it into bympod@gmail.com.
And if you should probably like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Go sub on all podcast platforms, all that other stuff. And sign up a guest.
You're not Harrington.
No, I'm not. Harrington left us too.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ. Everyone's dipping out. Everyone's leaving us alone. I'm the one with the jet lag. I'm the one that's knackered. And I'm the one staying there doing the graveyard shift, staying on late.
It's, the life we live here.
Oh, geez Louise. All right, give us a couple of questions then before we dip out of here. We're going to be back Thursday with a couple of good guests. So make sure you come and check out for that one. Obviously, Sean Strickland's fighting at the weekend. We'll preview that. And then next week, I'm looking forward to this one because International Fight Week, we've saved all the talk for then because otherwise it would just be premature. So big focus on International Fight Week next week. But in the meantime, Brian, what do we have?
All right, so first question we got here is from AJ Terry. I abbreviated a little bit. It was much longer than this.
Good.
What do you guys do when you have two of your favorite fighters facing off head to head? I don't want either of them to lose because I'm attached to both of their stories and their careers, and I want good for their families and for their lives. But one has to lose, and it's the fight game, and one's going to get punished violently.
Interesting question, and that is a good one because, listen, there's often situations where there's two fighters that you enjoy, that you're a fan of, that you want to prosper, to go on and have a great career and win. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example right now, but they are slipping my mind. However, it is what it is. I mean, may the best man win. Simple as that. Just enjoy the show. Don't let it get you down. If two of your favorite fighters are stepping in there and fighting each other for the belt or for whatever reason it is, I mean, that as a fan, that's what you should want. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. If they're your two favorites, I mean, come on, you've won the absolute goddamn lottery. But thank you for the question because that was a different one. Brian, have you ever had a situation where two fighters that you're a massive fan of are facing each other? I'm trying to think right now. Now I'm live.
Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor. I'm a massive fan of both of those dudes going into that fight. I thought Conor McGregor was going to walk away with it and I was surprised, and I wasn't mad.
I thought Conor was going to. I actually said Nate didn't have a chance in hell. I said Conor's going to smoke him. Yeah. I
wasn't mad at it.
Interesting question. I wish I could think of a different example, but I can't right now. But still, what else we got?
GSP Michael Bisping. Omar Flores sends in a question about podcast life here.
Okay.
Take 3. What is up, Michael Bisping? And just in case you are there, what's up, Anthony Smith? And I say that because, sometimes you're not there, and it makes me sad. What's going on, Brian? What's going on, Herringbone? 2 questions. First question, what do you think of the shades? Find them at a thrift store, $3. Can't beat it. Let me know. Second question, talk to me a little bit about the podcast life, and I hope you haven't gotten this question before because, quite frankly, I don't want to sound retarded and get clowned on by you guys. But, I watch a lot of comedian podcasts. I watch a lot of MMA podcasts, Some of these guys, it seems like they really enjoy it. They love it. But other guys, it seems like they don't want to be there. They don't really like it, And I'm wondering, is it because is it a hassle? Is it a lot of work, a lot of research, or is it just really easy and you show up, shoot the shit, and we're all good? So let me know. And there goes for all four of you lads, by the way. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. It's been your boy. It's been Omar Flores. I'm looking to become a consistent question contributor on the show from now on. And so should the rest of you guys. I don't know how many viewers you guys get per episode, but at least 5.5 of you guys can come up with a question every week. So until that day comes, keep your ear to the grindstone. Bonus point if you can guess that movie quote.
Okay. I mean, that was the longest sign-off in the history of planet Earth. My God, Omar, listen, you're milking the question time, brother.
I'm sorry. I should have abbreviated that one as well.
No, you're okay. Good question. And yeah, listen, Anthony just had a fight. He's training for another fight. He's got a submission tournament. So sometimes he can't make every single one. To answer your question, though, I mean, it's not hard. You know what I mean? But sometimes finding the time is. I mean, because I have a busy schedule, lots of other things going on. If I'm at home, it's easy. It's just when I'm out and about, when I'm traveling, going other places, that's when it becomes hard. But when you get on, everything else goes out the window. When I'm talking to Anthony, when we're doing the show, it's a lot of fun. But generally what we do as well, if we haven't got a guest on, like today we had Chito, if there's not a lot going on in the world of mixed martial arts, sometimes there's not so much things to talk about. That can be the only struggle sometimes, thinking of conversation points. That's why we rely on questions. That's why we like a lot of interaction. But yeah, I mean, doing a podcast, I never thought it would be this much fun. I really didn't. When I started doing it, when Lewis suggested it to me back in the day, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I wasn't really thinking about it as a job or anything like that. And I still don't. I really still don't. But, the reality is it does generate a little bit of money. Nothing crazy. We're not Joe Rogan, far from it. But still, it is fun. I enjoy it. I like to do this. I like to talk about mixed martial arts, and I like to shoot the shit with Anthony Smith. And I think that'll do it for this show because everyone's gone. Everyone's run off. There's no Harrington. There's no bloody Anthony Smith, Brian. But more importantly, I'll just be honest, I need a pee so badly.
Fair enough.
On, Brian. Go on,
I was going to say we have a very quick question if you'd like one more.
Right, well, hold on. I've got to take a pee because
12 seconds later.
All right, so real quick, we got a question here from Doug Ladanza. And I'm actually a little curious about this myself.
What's up, BYM? Quick question. Since Bisping, you're visiting England, do you prefer with your steering wheel on the left side of the car or steering wheel on the right side of the car? And also, I kind of missed the old UFC belt design. What do you guys think?
Nice question. I like it. Go straight to the point. More importantly, that's Alaya Quinta. He looks just like Alaya Quinta, although he doesn't probably sell real estate. Driving on the left side of the road. Do you know what? To be honest, when I moved out to America, it was very, very hard to get used to. And there was a couple of times I found myself driving on the wrong side of the road. When there was no traffic, all of a sudden I'm driving on the wrong side and then the car came towards me, like, holy shit. But then when I go back to England, it's easy because it's like riding a bike. In fact, I always remember when I was riding my bike on what side of the road I would ride it on. But yeah, no, it's easy, man. It's easy. I mean, come on, it's not hard, is it? One country does left, one country does right. But talking about the UFC belts, I like the new ones. Brian, come on here, sitting here bloody talking to myself about the belts.
Sorry.
It's a bit weird. No. I like the new ones. I mean, the other ones are all old school, they're cool, but I do love those new ones. I mean, I would have loved to have won one of those. The belt changes all the time. I don't know how many times there's been different belts, but you see, when you walk into the Apex, there's the security guards, and then you go up some set stairs. Then as you're going up the stairs, at the top on one of the landings, they've got all the belts, and I'm not sure how many there is. I want to say there's like 6 or 7 different designs.
I'll look that up right now, but the last design reminds me a lot of the WCW belt.
Yeah. But still, anyway, listen, we're going to wrap this one up. Guys, we'll be back with another show on Thursday, so don't miss that one. Stacked show planned for you. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.